Hello everyone, this is Gamer of Knowledge and More, Gamer of Knowledge, GoCam, or just Fred if you want to go by my real name, back with another video. Today, it'll be another MTG deck profile. I haven't done one last Sunday because I couldn't decide which one to do, but today, I'm doing one on Jhoira, Weatherlight Captain. She is a legendary human artificer for 2 of any, a blue and a red. She has a power and toughness of 3. And she has an effect where whenever you cast a historic spell, draw a card. Historic spells are artifacts, legendaries, and sagas. So for this deck, I'm focusing more on the historic, or the artifact part of me, but I do want some legendary cards in the deck. So for mana, I am running cards like Basalt Monolith, which for 3 mana you get an artifact that doesn't untap during your untap step. It taps for 3 colorless and you can pay 3 to untap it. It goes well with a card that I want to get for the deck. I know it's a monument that makes your permanents that tap for colorless give you an additional colorless, so you get 1 each time. Next is Soul Ring, which I think I've shown on the channel before, but just in case I haven't, or I haven't, yeah, is a artifact that costs 1 and it taps for 2. So it produces double what you put into it. Next is Mansgabe Refractor, which is an artifact for 3 mana, and it enters the battlefield tapped. It has all activated abilities of all lands on the field, and you may spend mana as though it were mana of any color to pay the activation cost of Mansgabe Refractor's abilities. So if someone has a oh, I forgot the name of it, but you paid 2 to it too, and you get a black for each swap you control. And if somebody has an Urberg, then you can Tomb of Yawgmoth. Then you can use this to turn it into that if you want. Lastly, for this is Grand Architect. What this card does is it's a creature, Featherken Artificer, for 1 of any and 2 blue. It has power of 1 and toughness of 3. It has other blue creatures you control get +1/+1, so it's a nice anthem effect for my commander. It has pay a blue, target artifact creature becomes blue until end of turn, and you tap and untap blue creature you control to add 2 colorless to your mana pool. You can only use this to spend to cast artifact spells or activate abilities of artifacts. This also goes well with another card I won't put into the deck called Pili Pala, which for 2 of any and untapping it, you get 1 mana of any color. Next, I got 3 mana reducers for my artifacts. I need to find like other ones, like that devoid creature that makes colorless spells cost 1 less. The first one is Ethereum Sculptor, who for 1 of any and a blue, you get an artifact Featherken Artificer that says artifact spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. Next is Fathering Inspector, who is the same, who has the same effect, but it's on a construct with the power of 3 and the toughness of 2, and it costs 3 instead. Next is Jhoira's Familiar, who has a power of 2 and toughness of 2, has a mana cost of 4, has flying, and says historic spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. So not only does it help out the artifacts, but if you bring it out before Jhoira, they can cast Jhoira for just 3 mana. Next are some cards that can either help out with casting artifacts or give you value whenever an artifact is in the process of coming out. So if it's a construction, it's an enchantment for 3 of any and a blue. It says whenever you cast an artifact spell, create a 1/1 colorless starter artifact creature token with flying. So that means that whenever you can, so it would be really good if you are casting your artifacts because it gives you a blocker if you need it. Next is Boars Expertise, which for 3 of any and 2 blue says is a sorcery that says return up to 3 target artifacts and all creatures to their owner's hands, and you may cast a card with confirmed mana cost 4 or less from your hand without paying its mana cost. So not only do you get your artifacts back, which you can play again, but it lets you play them one of them for free. Next is 2 artifacts that has a enter the battlefield effect. The first one is Meteor Golem, who for 7 mana you get a 3/3 creature golem with when Meteor Golem enters the battlefield, destroy target non-opponent and opponent controls. So it's a nice bit of removal, especially if you have the 3 mana reducers. Then you're destroying something for 4 mana. Next is Mere Biosphere. It's a mere construct with the cost of 7, the power of 4, and the toughness of 7. It has, when Mere Biosphere enters the battlefield, create 4 1/1 colorless mere artifact creature tokens. And whenever it attacks, you may tap X untapped mere you control. If you do, this card gets plus X plus 0 until end of turn and deals X damage to the player or planeswalker it's attacking. So if you can find a way to create multiple Mere Biosphere tokens, which can give you more tokens, it'll help deal a lot of damage to your opponent. Next are some cards that I have in the deck that are not artifacts but are legendaries. The first one is Storm Default. It's a legendary enchantment for 2 of any, a blue and a red. It says whenever 1 or more creatures you control deal combat damage to a player, create a colorless treasure artifact token with tap, sacrifice this artifact, add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. It also has an end step effect where at the beginning of your end step, if you control 5 or more artifacts, transform Storm Default. The backside is Vault of Catlacan. It's a legendary land that can either tap for 1 mana of any color, or you can tap it to add 1 blue to your mana pool for each artifact you control. Yeah, we never use the first part, we always tap it for the artifact part. Next are 3 planeswalkers. The first one is Shondura, Torch of Defiance. She's a legendary planeswalker, Shondura, for 2 of any and 2 red. She has a starting loyalty of 4, and she has 4 loyalty effects. So you can get for +1, you can exile the top card of your library. You may cast that card. If you don't, Shondura deals 2 damage to each opponent. Or you can +1 to add 2 red mana. When it comes to plussing her, I'd never use the exile effect. I always go for the +2 effect, because that way I can cast more artifacts if I need to. She also has a -3, where she deals 4 damage to target creature, and a -7, where you get an emblem with whenever you cast a spell, this emblem deals 5 damage to any target. So if I'm able to get the artifacts out early, if I'm able to get her out early, then I can deal a ton of damage. Next is Chase Berlin, who is also known as Party Chase. For 1 of any and 2 blue, he can either he has a starting loyalty of 3, and he can either make each player draw a card for +2, make someone draw 1 for -1, or for -10, he can mill someone for 20. Next is Narset, who has the same mana cost as Chase, but has 5 for loyalty. I'm only going to explain the first part because the last part is irrelevant for this deck. See, it says each opponent can't draw more than 1 card each turn. So that will really stop our opponents. Next are the win cons. I got 3 cards for this. The first one is Psychosis Crawler. He is an artifact creature for 5 mana, and his power and toughness is each equal to the number of cards in my hand. And whenever I draw a card, each opponent loses life. So if I'm able to get him and Jhoira out, then I can draw a ton of cards and make each opponent lose a life. Next is Reckless Fire Reaver, who's a human artificer with the effect of whenever an artifact enters the battlefield under your control, Reckless Fire Reaver deals 1 damage to each opponent. It also has the power of 1 and toughness of 3. So that's another way of dealing damage to the opponent. Next is my favorite win condition, which is Mechatronic Production. It's for 2 affinity and 2 blue. It enchants an artifact you control, and at the beginning of your upkeep, create a token that's a copy of that artifact, and if you have 8 or more artifacts with the same name as one another, you win the game. So it's my favorite win con and my favorite blue card, because it's my first card that says you win the game on it. Anyway, that's all for today, guys. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Please go follow my Instagram and like my Facebook, as well as follow Twitter, and subscribe if you want to, as well as ring the bell. Bye.